Hello and welcome to another edition of another book review. Just want to start off by saying if anybody watched my previous video on Yellowface, I apologize. I was having sound issues on my phone, so I'm now recording this on the computer. Hopefully, the sound will catch up. But this is a welcome to another edition of another book review. This is a book review channel. This week, I'll be reviewing RF Kuang's book Yellowface. I'll talk very briefly about the author, go into a spoiler-free overview of the plot, talk about what I liked about the book, what I didn't like about the book, who I'd recommend the book to, and finish off with what I will be reading for next time. R.F. Kuang is actually a relatively renowned author, a relatively young author under the age. I think she's younger than 30. And this, I think, is one of her. I think this is her fifth novel. She wrote a fantasy trilogy that came out about 5 years ago. Last year, 2022, she wrote a book called Babel, which won the Nebula, which is a science fiction award, and has shown a lot of promise as an author, winning awards and whatnot. This novel is not, I would not put this in a genre. I would call this, I would not call it a fantasy or science fiction novel. It's a kind of a contemporary novel about the publishing industry and is about two women, one of whom is named Juniper, who has a friend whose name is Athena. They're both published authors. Athena is a rising star and has garnished a lot of acclaim and a lot of sales. And Athena, Juniper is clearly jealous of her. Athena invites her over to her apartment one night, and unfortunately, Athena dies. And Juniper, in an act of uh, impulse, steals her manuscript in progress and publishes it as her own work, and is able to achieve some level of satisfaction and fame and notoriety by doing it. And the book really follows a lot of different things. It should be important to note that Athena is Asian American and Juniper is white, and so the book deals a lot with questions of identity, who is able to publish what works. The story in question is a story about Chinese laborers working, I believe, in Canada during the First World War. And so there's the questions about authenticity and ownership and things like that that the book, I think, handles really well. I think the book moves along quite at a good clip. I The book is told from the first person, which I think gives the author an opportunity to show kind of the good side of the character as well as maybe the not so good side of the character. I thought that was handled very realistically. Juniper is not a person I think who comes off as likable all the time. And I think the book does a good job of showing her motivations for things that she does while not letting her off the hook in terms of dealing with her own biases. It's very well written in terms of sentence writing, and it, like I said, moves at a pretty decent clip. Um, I liked the main character, even though she wasn't a particularly likable person. I liked how that character was handled. The book is a little inside baseball. If you're not someone who is familiar very much with the publishing industry itself, there may be some things that you're kind of left having questions about. I don't think that's a deal breaker for the book. I think she explains it in a way that you kind of pick up on those things. But if that's something that is important to you, or you kind of get easily lost with jargon, then that is in the novel. You should know about that. If you're someone who needs a likable protagonist, I don't think Juniper is that. If I was going to ding the book on some things, I think that the book could have developed some of the side characters a little bit more thoroughly. There is Juniper's family, who is in the novel, but they're very glancingly in the novel. I think there could have been more to develop those characters and to give more of a three-dimensional picture of Juniper herself. Some of the plot points are a little kind of on the outrageous side, and um, the tone of it, there are issues. To me, I had some kind of tonal shift issues with the book. Overall, I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed reading it while I was reading it. I thought it was well done. I don't know how much I'm going to think about it. If you're someone who has a very strong opinion about cancel culture and what we mean when we say cancel culture and who should be canceled and who shouldn't be canceled, the book doesn't, in my opinion, I think tries to play both sides of that. And so if you're someone who has a very strong opinion one way or the other, you may be left a little wanting from that. So I will mention that. Um, Overall, I did enjoy it. I would recommend it for people who like contemporary novels and kind of want something about cancel culture or the the literary world. I think this was pretty enjoyable for what it was. It reminded me a little bit about the movie Chicago, actually, the adaptation, the film adaptation with Richard Gere and Catherine Zeta-Jones that came out a few years ago, quite a few years ago at this point, but had similar vibes in terms of people in the industry kind of struggling to make it. I think the acknowledgement at the end, RF Kuang mentions this book is really about loneliness in the publishing industry, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's essentially what she says, and that theme is carried throughout the novel. Um, but overall, I enjoyed it. There were some parts of it that I probably would have cut or fleshed out a little bit more in terms of some scenes, but overall, I thought it was, for what it was, really well done. And I look to reading more of her stuff in the future. Next time, I'm going to be reading The Last Day by Sean, I believe his last name is Barber, who is one of my viewers who sent me a copy of his book, which I will review next time in exchange for his copy. I'll give him a fair review. I'll try to leave links below to my Twitter handle. I'm not sure if it will be as easy as it usually is because I don't typically work off the computer like this, but if you did read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang and had strong opinions about it one way or the other, please feel free to leave those below. Please don't spoil it for anybody. I left it relatively vague, but the plot is essentially this woman steals a manuscript, passes off as her own as a white woman. The author herself was an Asian American woman, and kind of what does that mean? And the book deals a lot with the Twitterness of it all and how much of our lives are on Twitter and how much we take opinions from other people and the industry's reaction to Twitter, how it treats Twitter and stuff like that. So if any of that sounds interesting, I think the book is really well done and quick enough of a read that it's not daunting. And I would recommend checking out if any of those things that sound interesting to you. Until next time, bye.